Hi, my name is Caroline Charrow. I'm from Frederick, Maryland. I was a 2008 New York City Corps member, and now I live in Philadelphia, and I'm on the admissions team, and I just had my third year of service. And then this past spring, I went on a justice journey in Chicago led by Josh Hohen, who was trained by the brilliant and wonderful and ingenious Jamie Jenkins as part of her values-based leadership development pilot. So when people ask me, to describe the experience with the justice journey, it's actually sort of hard for me to describe in a concise manner because it was just like a very powerful and deep and moving experience for me. But I will say it is the single best professional development I have ever received, either before joining the Corps, in the Corps, or in my 3+ years on staff, in terms of the impact it actually had on the way I understand our work and the way I approach my own work every single day. And I think before going to Chicago, I thought of diversity as one of the core values on an equal playing field with all the other core values, and whenever I make a decision, I might just do a quick, pivot table to check if there's a disparate impact on people of color, and if there's not, I'm like, check, diversity accomplished. And I think actually after Chicago, I have a much deeper and more internalized and much more urgent sense of what needs to happen in terms of anti-racism and social justice and equity to actually ever get towards one day. And diversity is not like one of 5 equal core values that you try to check off when you're looking about how things will impact different groups of different ethnicities. Anti-racism and social justice need to be the way that we approach every single decision we make and every single thing we do in this work. It needs to be the issue that we are always thinking about first and foremost. And so when I think about concrete impact in terms of actual decisions, I think about the fact that right after the Chicago conference, I was hiring a new person for my team, and I was looking for somebody who was going to be really strong with Excel and RST because it was going to be a role that required lots of data analysis. And after Chicago, I was like, I can actually teach anybody how to use Excel, and I can teach anybody to do the types of data analysis they need to do in this role. What I can't teach somebody well is to approach this work from an equity, anti-racism, social justice lens. And I want somebody who is that's going to be their fundamental driving factor, and that's going to be how they make decisions, and that's going to be how they approach the work. So I'm going to hire for that, and I can teach them Excel. And so that's what I did. And I hired somebody different than I would have hired if I hadn't been on the justice journey in Chicago. And it's like the best decision I've ever made on staff because my new hire is fantastic, and she has already been here for like 2 months, and she has fundamentally changed a lot of things for the better, and she's on a trajectory to change even more. And so I'm super excited about her, and I wouldn't have approached hiring in that way had it not been for the Chicago experience. I also think that there are a lot of changes happening on admissions this year because our entire sub-team did the justice journey led by Josh. So that was about a third of the admissions team, and we came back and we were like amped up. And so there are a lot of changes happening. There are large sections of the application that are getting completely retooled. There are large sections of the admissions process that are getting completely retooled, and that I don't think would have happened without Jamie joining our team and without a third of us going on the justice journey, and the rest of us are going to go on it later this year, and it cannot come soon enough. And I think the only thing that I wish had been different is that I really wish I had gone on the justice journey before I joined the Corps, because I would have been a fundamentally different type of Corps member and teacher. I was like the very traditional, very stereotypical significant gains Corps member. Like, I'm going to get my students to 80% mastery of the 7th grade science standards, and I'm going to talk to them about college, and I'm going to work on metacognitive skills, and that's what I saw my role as, and that's what I did. And so I wasn't a bad teacher. I just when I think about what my kids are doing now, several years later, I can't imagine it's very different, honestly, except they have 80% mastery of the 7th grade science standards, which is not actually going to accomplish that much in the long run. So I think if I had been on a justice journey before, I would have seen my role as something fundamentally different. I would have seen my role as not just to catch my students up academically, but also to empower them and to activate their leadership and to build their own critical consciousness, and basically to set them up to be the leaders that their community needs and the leaders that they have the potential to be, and to not just care about the rock cycle, but to be on a trajectory towards changing their entire world around them, basically. And I just think I would have approached every single day really differently, what my objectives were, what I wanted to get out of interacting with my students, how I interacted with my students, how I partnered with their parents, how I partnered with the other teachers in the building. It all would have been from a much deeper place and with a much larger goal. And I think that's what we need our Corps members to be doing if we actually ever want to reach one day. We need to be empowering our students' leadership, and we need to be setting them up to be the ones to put us on a trajectory to educational equity. So when I think about what I see my role as in admissions now, we need to figure out how to field a Corps that is 100% um, equity-minded, anti-racist, and that is on fire about this approach to our work. And I am really, really convicted that everybody on staff needs to go through Jamie's professional development, and that every core member needs to go through it before they're allowed to set foot in front of kids. So if you have questions about it or you want to talk to me, caroline.charrow@teachforamerica.org. I cannot say enough wonderful things about Jamie and her program.